What's up, Wizards? It's Dev, Mtg. We like it of Magic, and today we're going to continue kind of cleaning up this standard season with these decks that were on the Patreon polls like all season, but never quite made it. And today's a good one. This is probably the one that was closest to making it all throughout the season. I've got a lot of patrons that stand then some Boros Control and would die for this deck, but you finally get to see it. Today we're going to show the deck off, and the deck list looks a little bit wonky. I will go ahead and admit to that. But that's because I've actually been refining this deck list all season. It's a deck that I continue to play because I really enjoy it. I like this deck a lot, and although I don't think that it's in the top tiers of standard or anything, there are mid-range and control decks that are just better than this one. But at the same time, it is a deck again that I've really enjoyed and has been able to win some pretty tight games throughout my time playing with it. But I'm going to go ahead and start talking about it because there's kind of a lot to talk about. You'll note the large number of one-ofs in the deck. Again, that's actually because of a refining process and not because I want to play Commander or Brawl in Standard. But just to kind of start here, I want to start with the lower end and just kind of move from there. Because what I wanted was enough cards in the early game. A lot of control decks just don't have that. So I started with Dawn of Hope. This isn't really a removal piece or anything, but it's a card that's been in the deck the entire time, but only this one of. I've never gone above one of or below one of, and that's because against some decks, this isn't a great turn 2 play because you're just going to get run over. But against other decks, this is an amazing turn 2 or turn 10 play because it's a way to make sure that you can maintain a board presence throughout the game and draw some cards as well. So white and red really have some issues drawing cards and staying in the match in terms of card advantage, so Dawn of Hope can really help with that. As far as Glass Casket, this is a one of because it kind of goes with the Scorching Dragonfire and the Bone Crusher Giant. I wanted 8 different removal pieces on turn 2. Bone Crusher is great for that. Scorching Dragonfire is amazing. Can also take out Planeswalkers, exile stuff. Just maybe one of the best 2-mana removal pieces in the format right now. But Glass Casket is really cool at doing a bunch of different stuff. It can take out tokens forever, which is nice. It can take out a bunch of creatures that Dragonfire can't or has trouble taking out. Like if you want to target a Bone Crusher Giant with a Scorching Dragonfire, that's 2 damage to your face. That's not the case with Glass Casket, so it's kind of a pun. The case casket. Anyway, so there's that. There's also Runaway Steamkin, which can get to a 4/4 above Scorching Dragonfire. Glass Casket can take it out. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Rotting Regisaur is another good example. So you can name creatures like that all day. I think Glass Casket's nice to have in edge cases. Birth of Melodus, another important 2-drop. This one, good on turn 2 against nearly everything. Not great against control decks, obviously, but it's still a 2-drop that you're not embarrassed by because it helps you get your lands, and this lowers the land count a little bit. We're at 26 right now, and honestly, it sounds like a lot, but I kind of want to play 27 lands in the deck, but Birth of Melodus really helps kind of shore up the land count and get us to 5 or 6 mana, which is where we really want to be. As far as the 3-drops go, there's Banishing Light, a couple of copies of that, self-explanatory, takes out everything. Gideon Blackblade, a card that I've actually considered cutting a bunch of times. It just doesn't do enough in some games, but I do want a fairly high concentration of Planeswalkers in the deck, and I want a Planeswalker or just something that survives sweepers. And Gideon Blackblade is pretty good at doing that, plus there's key times where you can give a creature lifelink or indestructible. That can be really good, the lifelink especially with Dawn of Hope out, so there's some sort of edge cases where Gideon can get some synergy in the deck and be a decent card against other decks. But all in all, I'm thinking about cutting it down to 1 or 0 and filling those slots with something else. Not the most impressive card, but still a pretty good card. Bone Crusher Giant, again, self-explanatory. Great 2-drop, great 3-drop. One of the only actual creatures in the entire deck. And so, sometimes this will just get in front of other big creatures and sort of trade for you. But other times it can actually deal some real damage to your opponent. We've got Deafening Clarion as well as 2 Shatter the Sky, a 3 and 2 mix here. I don't want all the sweepers in the world because we've also got Realmcloak Giant in the deck. So, that makes 6 sweepers. I think that's more than enough. And I just want to play the 1 Realmcloak Giant to have the edge case of, not destroying our own Bone Crusher Giant with our sweeper. So that can be sometimes important. Do note, too, that Bone Crusher Giant, by the way, again, one of the only creatures in the deck, but it has 4 power. So if we rip off a Shatter the Sky, then Bone Crusher Giant pays us with a card if we have it out. So it doesn't feel too bad to sweep our own board when we've already played a Bone Crusher if we play Shatter the Sky. That can be important some of the time, but Realmcloak Giant leaves behind the Bone Crusher and also represents a very large threat in and of itself. So I want to play at least 1 copy of that, but honestly, I think the other sweepers in the deck are just better. Deafening Clarion's amazing on turn 3. Can sometimes give our Bone Crusher Giant or creatures that our Planeswalkers have created, and Gideon lifelink, and that can really matter when we're trying to kind of turn the corner against aggro decks. But Deafening Clarion, kind of again self-explanatory. Self-Explanatory along with Shatter. Elspeth's Son's Nemesis. I was playing a copy of the 4-mana Chandra for a very long time to try to get card advantage, but Elspeth kind of represents card advantage in and of herself because she's something you can escape out of the graveyard. And this is actually a way to win games. It turns out, sometimes just the -1 can be really good. If you've got a couple of creatures out, but often the -2 a couple of times, make some creatures, force a sweeper, they kill your Elspeth, bring it back, make a couple more creatures. It can just be really tough for certain decks to deal with. So I've liked the 1 copy of Elspeth, but I wouldn't go above 1, which is why there are so many 1-ofs. There's a lot of cards I really don't want to go above 1 copy, but I do want to play. There's also Karn. This is probably the actual best way to get card advantage in the deck, but I'll come back to this in just a moment. Elspeth Conquers Death also a form of card advantage, and one of the reasons that I wanted to play a critical mass of Planeswalkers in the deck. We're not playing too many creatures, so I wanted something that Elspeth Conquers Death can bring back from the graveyard. That's one of the main reasons Gideon Blackblade stays in the deck. But the removal mode on this is just insane. It's just amazing, and just like Banishing Light, it can take out almost anything, regardless of type. So that can be really important. Elspeth Conquers Death's just been a really impressive card in a lot of decks this season. Sarkhan the Masterless also takes advantage of the fact that we're playing a fair number of Planeswalkers in the deck, but this can also just make 4/4 dragons, win the game that way. And then Chandra Awakened Inferno is the way that we win the game most often. This is kind of another sweeper, so keep that in mind, but it's also a way to take out large creatures and Planeswalkers all at once. It can't be countered. That's decent against a number of decks right now. And the +2 is amazing if you can have your Chandra out more than 2 or 3 turns in a row. So very often this is what's going to win the game, and that's why there's so many copies. I kind of wanted this to be our control finisher in this deck, but in the end we really trend more towards a mid-range deck than a control deck, but we've got an awful lot of removal, and a lot of it is can be directed at different things. Elspeth Conquers Death, Banishing Light, both of those can take out stuff that's not just creatures or Planeswalkers. Same thing with Heliod's Intervention. Just playing 1 copy of this, but I wanted a card that could take out an Embercleave at instant speed, and Heliod's Intervention gives us a slight chance of doing that, while also being something that can specifically take out all kinds of stuff. Witch's Oven, Anax it can target right now, Fires of Invention, just all the stuff in the sacrifice decks. There's just so many targets for Heliod's Intervention that it's kind of a free roll in terms of playing it in the main deck, so I'm just going to play the 1-of, why not? Again, we draw it in the very late game. Even if it doesn't have any targets, it can still gain us a bunch of life, and that helps when you're trying to turn the corner again. But as far as Karn, come back to this card. It's sort of the last thing I want to say about the main deck. This gives us a Wish sort of sideboard, and that's amazing. Plus, we have some artifacts in the deck. Sometimes Glass Casket can be nice to animate with this, just on rare occasions. But obviously, a lot of the stuff we're animating with Karn, we're getting out of the sideboard. But luckily, we have a fair amount of decent artifacts to be able to pull from the board right now that are important in a lot of games. Bag of Holding, I rarely search up, but in long games, you might need something to get a little bit of, not necessarily card advantage, but loot. And long-term card advantage for what that's worth. Grafdigger's Cage just shuts down Cat and Reanimation and all kinds of stuff, so that can be important. Shadowsphere, really, really good card here. Put it on Bone Crusher Giant, gain 5 life a turn. Or put it on a Realm Cloak Giant, gain 8 life a turn, and give that 7/7 Vigilance Trample. Well, it's very good. So a lot of cool stuff you can do with this. Put it on a dragon that you've made with Sarkhan. And swing for 5 lifelink. So there's a lot of cool stuff Shadowsphere can do. It's a very important card to have. Sometimes, I would actually say this is actually one of the most searched up cards with Karn, because it can just turn the corner all in one go. And it works well with Karn, because let's say you search up a Godfair's statue, right? Well, next turn you search up a Shadowspear, and the turn after that you can animate the Godfair's statue and put the Shadowspear on it. So I've done that a number of times as well. It's 7 lifelink damage every turn, plus the damage that you're dealing every turn with Godfair's statue. This can be a cool card in long games, but mostly it's there because it's a not embarrassing artifact to have on the battlefield for the most part that we can animate and turn into a huge creature. This wins games by itself just by being a dude sometimes. But there's also Sorcerer's Spyglass, 2 copies of this, because there are going to be some games where you want multiple copies of it. But this can shut down all kinds of stuff, and has been a major factor in some of the games this deck has won. Entrancing Liar, not great, but it is removal out of the board, and can deal with Dream Trawler, so that's kind of important. Meteor Golem, just, obviously good card. And then Stonecoil Serpent, also a 2 of this, because this is something else that I often will search up more than once in a game. Search up Stonecoil Serpent, make it like a 4/4 or 5/5. And then later on that game, search up Stonecoil Serpent, make it like a 9/9. So it's a pretty impressive card some of the time, and it's nice to, if we have nothing else to pull out of our board, Stonecoil is usually a pretty solid pull. Aside from that, Devout Decree, Disenchant, Fry, these are all for game 2 and 3, and they're all fairly self-explanatory, but we probably should play more of these, honestly. I just want as much of a wish board as possible. So that is the deck, aside from the 26 lands. I guess the only thing really important about the lands is that Castle Ardenvale is a very good Magic card. I was playing Labyrinth of Scophos for a while, but it turns out that Castle Ardenvale is just better. It's like 90% of the time it's just a better card than Labyrinth of Scophos. Unless the creature has flying or trample that you're trying to block, Castle Ardenvale is just mostly better, and it can also go offensive, so that can be important. Another way of sort of getting card advantage in air quotes, and I'll talk a little bit about that before we get into the games one more time. But the only other things I wanted to point out is Field of Ruin. This is what took Labyrinth of Scophos' place. You could play Blast Zone in this slot if you wanted to, but Field of Ruin is Blast Zone can do this too, but Field of Ruin does it easier. Field of Ruin can go into the graveyard to help you escape Elspeth. That's also why we're playing all 4 Fabled Passage. This will help us get, that double red on turn 5 that we often need, or double white on turn 4 if we don't have it yet. So Fabled Passage can be important for that. The important turns in the game for us are turns 4, 5, and 6, and Fabled Passage is critical on those turns to make sure we have the mana we need. But it also helps escape the Elspeth. As far as Field of Ruin, it helps do that too, but it also takes away lands like Castle Vantress and Castle Locthwain that'll help the opponent win the sort of card advantage or card selection war. So just a very important card Field of Ruin is. Now, the last thing I'll say, like I said, is that I want to touch on card advantage, because card advantage is really hard to get in a just strict red-white deck, and I ended up cutting the 4-mana Chandra, but I still wanted, to focus mostly on card advantage. That's why you see things like Dawn of Hope. Glass Casket can function as card advantage, and sometimes because it can take out a creature in the early game and then become a creature later with Karn. Birth of Melodus, card advantage, because it, not only gives you a 0/4, but it also goes and gets a plains for you. What else? There's kind of a lot of little ins and outs to card advantage in the deck. You could count Gideon Blackblade as a sideways card advantage, but it's not. Bonecrusher Giant, card advantage, 2 spells in 1. Deafening Clarion, 2 spells in 1. Elspeth Sun's Nemesis, card advantage because you can get it back from your graveyard. Karn goes and gets cards, that's card advantage. Elspeth Conquers Death, 2 for 1's the opponent. Sarkhan the Masterless creates multiple tokens and sometimes also creates multiple swinging planeswalkers. That's card advantage. Realmcloak Giant, card advantage. So there's a lot of ways. Oh, and Heliod's Intervention, if it has more than one target, card advantage. Chandra, all of our sweepers, card advantage if they take out more than one thing. So even though red and white has kind of slim pickings when it comes to 2-for-1ing opponents and getting real advantage in terms of cards, we have tried our damnedest here to make sure that we get as much virtual card advantage as we can. So that's kind of the ins and outs and the important parts of the deck. I'm sorry that took so long. I've been working on the deck all season, so there's a lot to say, and I'm sure I'll have more to say in the game, so let's get to them. All right, we're up against Scotty Z for this one, and what Scotty doesn't know is that we got a pretty decent opener. We really could use a red source here, but ultimately I guess I'm okay with this. If we can get to Gideon by turn 3, we can probably cook something up. We really need 2 red sources for this Sarkhan, but I think that things might be okay. I don't love to take 2 landers with this deck, but in some cases you got to do what you got to do. Just like Scotty's got to figure out what he's doing over there. What you doing, Scotty? Tough decision. Tough one. Are you gonna rope? Are you gonna rope? Are you gonna rope? No, you're not. I sound like such a bully sometimes. You gonna do it? You gonna do it, man? You gonna do it? You gonna rope? You gonna cry? Here comes Scorch Spitter. Karn the Great Creator is what we draw this turn. It really needed to have been a land. Yeah, I'll go ahead and Glass Casket the Scorch Spitter. Maybe should save it for the Runaway Steamkin that might come down this turn. But I don't want to take 4 from a Robber of the Rich coming down this turn, so I'd rather just take the 2. We'll see what happens. You got anything, Scotty? Apparently they do have things. They're just trying to make a decision. I know how that is, Scotty. I don't know why I feel like I have to say your name over and over. Scotty Z. Is that what your friends call you? Oh, Scotty Z. His name's like Scott Zimmers? I don't know too many names. I mean, last names in with the Z. It wasn't Robber of the Witch. How can I not say that? Rouse a Wizard's Wrath. Robber of the Rich comes down. We get a Temple of Triumph, which is not amazing. I'll keep that land on top, though. Thank you. Could have been red, but whatevs. Probably just get away with Deafening Clarion this turn, unless they Annex or something. But I'll still Deafening Clarion. Who cares? Drops the mountain. Scotty big time. But you got Fervent Champ. Keep playing creatures. Play another one. Rimrock hitting the table. We're taking 3. Well, I guess it was a land on top. they'll get our planes, but that's fine. We got an Arden Veil. That kind of makes up for it. And I guess I'll just Clarion your face off. Always pick both modes. Always, kids. They draw. I like that you're playing with Azoria Sleeves while you're playing Mono Red, the old okey doke. Here comes an Anax. Whoops, did play it last turn. Here comes Fervent Champion. It's going to hit us. Right in the mouth. I guess we could just Clarion again this turn, right? That might be the best course of action. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then we can maybe start getting set up. I can maybe start doing that now. We've decimated their hand, but no, they just drew the Torbran. They did, wow. Maybe they've had it this whole time. Yikes, that's not good. That is not good. Maybe we'll get an Elspeth Conquers Death. We didn't. We did not get one. Yikes, okay. That's not good. That's not good at all. Well, I guess we can Sarkin and hopefully stay alive. Let's create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying and say go. What'd you get? I hope it's just a land. Mono Red has a habit of drawing the Ember Cleave right around now. If they don't already have it in their opener. What's he gonna do, Scott? He's psyching us out. He's psyching us out, y'all. He's gonna take some time with it. He's gonna marinate on it. Really cause suspense and anticipation. You gonna do it? You gonna do it, Scotty? I got faith. Oh, they're gonna rope. Neat. Mono Red roping with one card in their hand. Gotta figure out exactly the right way to do this. What if they drew like an Infuriate or something? They're just trying to figure out 2, 3, 4, 5. So you just kill us, right? Yeah, that would just end our game. Rimrock main phase on the Torbran, and that's very interesting. Well, guess I can kill this Torbran. So that's good. Huh. And they came in at the Sarkin, too. I was thinking about just letting the Sarkin die. Here comes Rimrock Knight. And now we can do some stuff. We can do some stuff. And kill this Rimrock Knight. And then we can play this Bone Crusher. We can do these things. We can +1 the Sark. Fly in. And say go. I'm still wary of them drawing an amazing card, but let's see if that happens or not. They're coming in here, which means they have a thing. Alright, so scoop it up. Scoop it up, Scotty. Good game. Not so bad. Alright, we go first here, coming off a game where our opponent really beefed it with Rimrock Knight. I'm pretty sure they would have won that game if they'd have played it as a combat trick, but whatevs. And also swung at us instead of our Sarkin. So again, I think they really nutted themselves there. But we're up against Dark Plate here, and things are looking at least okay. As long as we can get to the late game. We got Glass Casket to help with that. Little Temple here for some scries. Another good way to not get card advantage, but at least increase the card selection in the deck. Do I want this Elspeth? Yeah, sure. Sure. It's a turn 4 play. We got some lands for now. We'll probably draw another one by the time it's time to play this 5-drop. Let's hope. They scribe to the top. It's going to play a tap Sacred Foundry. Give them the courtesy of going. What you got on your plate? Dark. Ooh, Jund. Scribe to the top again. Getting their lands in order, probably. Nothing wrong with that. Let's get ours in order. Play a tap Sacred Foundry. Say go. We're being very nice to each other so far this game. Let's see what happens on turn 3. Alright, play a tapped Overgrown Tomb, so I guess everyone just has all the time in the world to do everything they want to do. Let's drop this Elspeth. Get this thing going. Make a couple of duders. They could be ladies. Who knows? Oh, our opponent's got a thing. Watch out. Assassin's Trophy. The Elspeth. That's action right there. That is action. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll take a mountain because we have a Birth to Melodus. That'll get plains for us, so we might as well get the mountains now. Well, not bad. We got a land and 2 1/1s and a thing we can get back from the yard later. Hopefully. Rubble. Ooh. Oh, are you Jund land destruction? Are you? Ooh. Ooh, wee. That's neat. That's pretty cool. All right, 2 to the top, ladies and gentlemen. Man, land destruction. Aye. Land destruction. That's... What? I guess I'm just gonna stomp your face, main phase, so I can play this Bone Crusher main phase. Let's do that. Then let's get in for 2. And I guess we have Birth of Melodus to go fetch up a Plains at some point if they keep blowing our lands up. Land destruction. Neat. Neat. I guess Casualties is something we're going to have to watch out for starting next turn. Down comes Overgrown Tomb. Gonna blow up a land? Yeah, Tectonic Rift. Neat. Okay, so... well, we get another land. That's good. That's pretty good. I'm actually considering just getting down this Elspeth Conquers Death so we can get the Elspeth out of the yard right in time to maybe finish the game with our creatures. But again, I'm thinking the Casualties is going to be a thing. I'm going to go ahead and play this Birth of Melodus. Then, I guess I'm just going to get in. Pop! There at 8. They can't do this much longer. Hopefully we get a Bone Crusher or something next turn. Alright, here comes Chandra. Is going to blow everything away. Neat. Alright. I'm down with that. We got another Elspeth Conquers Death. That's pretty good right about now. Let's play it. Blow up the Chandra. Here at 6, I'd really like to draw a land and just play Realm Cloak Giant. That'd be sweet, but again, I'm very worried about Casualties. In case you can't tell. Demolish! Uh-oh. Uh-oh, everybody. Well, unless... yay, Sarkin. You're a lifesaver, bud. Gonna win all these games for us today. Well, let's do that. Masterless Sarkin. Create a dragon. Say go. Well. Rubble reading. That's not so bad. It's not so bad at all. We win, I guess, from off of Sarkin here. Whoo, land destruction. Man, cheesy, crazy. Well, we got a couple of ways to win at this point, but I guess none of it actually matters. Let's -1, yeah, just go ahead and scoop it up. Dark Plate. Good game, though. Good game. Land destruction. That's a cool deck to play against. More people should be doing that. And, well, maybe not. I mean, they just lost, but it's still, land destruction's awesome to see. Good on you, Dark Plate. All right, opponent goes first. Up here against Toshikidato. Toshikidato, if you want to do it the American Southern way. That's where I'm from. Toshikidato with a mountain. Into a Fervent Champion. I played against this deck before. I know what this is. But we got stuff for that. Let's go ahead and get down this Foundry. Say go. And hopefully they don't completely overwhelm us. Here comes Robert of the Rich. Woof woof. Alright, well, let's play a mountain. And let's Bone Crusher Robert. He of the Rich. I read this card the opposite way you're supposed to read it. Not one who robs the rich. Robber who is of the rich. They go double Scorch Spitter, big time. Fervent Champion comes through. Yikes. Yikes. I'll just Bone Crusher. Oh, but what? The Scorch Spitter. That's going to come back to bite me when they have Rimrock Knight against one of these Bone Crushers. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, Annex. That's a good card. Good magic card there. So good. Down to 12. 4 drops I want to play this turn, so... Could always Elspeth, or I could always Glass Casket this Annex. Go down to 9 next turn. And also Dawn of Hope. I could do that with 4 mana. Would be pretty nice, but I guess... Well, no, I don't want to deal... I don't want to take the damage. I want to take the damage from this Annex next turn. I ain't down for that. Not at all. So, I guess I will plains. Go ahead and set up Dawn of Hope. Let's take that line. And then next turn, maybe I'll just Bone Crush. Ah, it's Torbran. Ugh, jeez, buddy. That hurts so bad. Everything hurts so bad. God. Jeez. Jeez Louise. And now, even if I Elspeth Conquers Death away this Torbran, they kill me next turn. Good Lord. Man, there's nothing we can do. Ain't nothing we can do, mister. I guess the only thing we can do... Well, no, because they're dealing 6 damage to us with a Scorch Spitter next turn. God, good game, good game. Mono Red just way too fast for us that time around. We had the removal and everything, just way too fast. They had the perfect hand. All right, in for our next one here up against Fudge Monkey, and opponent goes first. I'm not thrilled about that, but our hand actually looks pretty good. We finally see a Chandra. But we're playing against this deck, everybody. Get ready for Chandra Spitfire. A little Cavalcade of Calamity action. It's one of these. We draw another Chandra, which is not great right now if you're keeping score. Drop Mountain into Robber. Oh, Robert. Here goes the plains I really wanted to draw next turn. Really wanted to draw that plains. Thanks, Robert. Nope, instead we have to drop Castle Ardenvale tapped and continue to take damage. What a fun game. Alright. Let's go, Fudge Monkey. What are you going to do to screw us up? Yep, annex. Now we can't. Now Bone Crusher doesn't matter as much. God, this deck. They get a Gideon. Oh my god. Murder. A complete murder. Oh my goodness. Oh my, look, y'all. Look. We're playing 3 Chandras in our deck. We've drawn all 3. Huh, wow. What a game. What a fun game Magic the Gathering is. I'm just having fun. Let's kill Bone Crusher. They'll get a token, so they don't care. They'll also hit us for $1 billion this turn. That's what their deck does. If they Embercleave, they can just win. So we got to play 1 spell this game if they Embercleave. And they do, because that's what this deck does. So I wish I could say good game, but, you know. Ah, goodness. Well, you know, Mono Red gets to go first, and there's your day. There is your day. There's a reason this deck has a huge meta share right now. Alright, opponent goes first again. And so far in this video, Mono Red has had our numbers. Perfect hands for the Mono Red decks. So let's hope that's not what we run into again. We get a Temple of Malice. They scry to the top. Has a single opponent in this video scried to the bottom? Has that happened yet? Oh man, do I actually want this Realm Cloak Giant? Maybe. Yeah, I'll take a second sweeper. I'll do it. Wow. Okay, what you got? Dreadhorde Butcher? That would hurt. Oh, Croxa. I'll get rid of a Karn. I don't care. It's not amazing against this deck. Throw down the plains, say go. See what you do this turn. Croxa. Croxa again. Jeez. Wow. Wow. Huh. Isn't that something? Deafening Clarion. I don't want to get rid of it, but I am. I'm gonna do it. I guess the early game's over at this point. Hey, we get a Chandra. Maybe we'll actually get to a point in the game where we can cast the stupid card. This game. Watch us draw nothing but white sources. Another... Are you joking? Wow. Alright, Realm Cloak Giant. There go our sweepers. Cool. This is a series of the best games ever. God. Man. We're just getting destroyed. Here comes Karn, though, right? That's something. Well, I know what I want. Jeez, man. Oh, boy. Boop. Let's get a Grafdigger's Cage. Oh, man. Triple Crocs to start the game. That's so nasty. That's just repulsive. Ay, ay, ay. That hurts. That hurts. Alright, well, what do you do this turn? Do you actually finally start, like, Mayhem Deviling this turn? That'd be a thing to do. That's what I keep expecting. It's just black-red sack, but we just keep getting it in the face by Croxa. Haven't taken any damage to it. I guess that's a small wonder. By the way, we are going to get nothing but white sources. Hey, I guessed it. Mayhem Devil. Well, we can shatter it if we want to. I might want to. Nah. It's just birth. Do that. Grafdigger's Cage. Then use Karn before he dies. I will get Spyglass. Name Witch's Oven. That's what we're going to do. Ladies and gentlemen. I think that's right. Well, they get another Fabled Passage, so they're going to just kill our Karn with the passage and then get in for 3 with the Devil. Oh, another Mayhem Devil. Hot! Hot, sexy action. Maybe we'll just shatter on this coming up turn. That could be good. They got a Priest. Could have also named that with Spyglass. Mire Triton, Midnight Reaper. Sarkin. Need another red source. Really do. Well, could always Elspeth Conquers Death. Get rid of one of the Mayhem Devils. Block the other one with this. I don't think they'll be able to kill it. Yeah, that's right. Save our shatter. But probably still be able to draw a bunch of cards because of Midnight Reaper when we do shatter. Woe Strider is what they go with. Getting in, let's block. They will kill our wall this turn due to sacrifice Sacknanigans. But that's whatever, I don't care. That's all welly. Position could be worse. Honestly, our position could be far worse right now. Alright, so Elspeth goes off, Birth of Melodith goes off, we gain a couple of life. We also take damage. We did get that other red source. If we Chandra, they'll sack things. Put our Chandra at like 1. I'm okay with that. They're going to scoop. Okay, they scoop the Chandra. So just sweep the board. It puts our Chandra at 1, but it doesn't look like they can kill it next turn. So I guess scooping makes sense. Plus we have this Sarkin. They don't know that, but it looks like we did have that game pretty well in hand. Good game. All right, we're up against the Dock, and we go first, and things are looking okay. Again, no real early action, and I built the deck specifically to get early action, but, you know, best laid plans, all that. So let's see what the Dock is cooking up in the laboratory. Leads on Temple of Deceit. Like I've said before, that always makes me think it's going to be Doomfortold or something. It's just Mountain. Say go. Then next turn we can Gideon Blackblade. That's a thing. Oh, they want to Thought Erasure, so maybe we can't Gideon Blackblade next turn. I forgot that so many decks in the standard are focused around making sure you can't play Magic. So whether they're Thought Erasure decks, Agonizing Remorse decks, Fairy decks, decks that play Embercleave on turn 4, you know, just whatever. So long as the opponent doesn't get to play Magic, those are the best decks in the format. So, or the Simic decks that ramp to where they have 5 lands on turn 3 and you still only have 2 because, you know, you always go second. Those decks, those are very popular as well. They make sure you don't play Magic in time. So, you know, let's see what the Dock has here on turn 3. It is Esper, huh? Called that Doom foretold. Let's see if we were correct. Let's go ahead and trash this Fabled Passage. The red source. And then I'll Elspeth. Yeah. Rather do that and create some value. Well, they're going to Dovin's Veto it. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Seeing we get some value in case they Doom Foretold, but screw it, I guess. Well, I'm going to Karn. See if that too gets countered. Nope. Alright. We'll get some card advantage off our Karn. That's good. I kind of like God Pharaoh's statue here. I was also thinking about getting Sorcerer's Spyglass and naming Fairy. That was a consideration I was making. But instead, we're just going to have a handful of 6-drops. That's the right way to go. 6-drops we can't cast unless we draw more lands. Oh yeah, and there's also a 6-drop in our yard. Oath of Kaya, going to kill the Karn. This is 100% Doom Foretold. Oh well. Okay, play a land. Maybe that was the decision. Well, we get a 5th land here. That's pretty decent. Usually I wouldn't do this, but I'm actually thinking about grabbing a white source. Yeah, we got plenty for Birth of Melodus. Alright, 5 mana. We can go get our 6th mana. Yeah, let's just Dawn of Hope plus Birth this turn. Let's do that. Let's Dawn of Hope. Let's say go. Dawn of Hope might be semi-decent against them. What you got? Tough sequencing over there. 6 mana. Enough to do a lot of things. A lot of things. And Narset. It's cool. Sort of hurts our Dawn of Hope, but I actually don't think we're going to be gaining life anytime very soon. Aside from Birth of Melodus, I guess. Thought Erasure. To get the Chandra, probably. No, they're not going to cast it. They could have. Chandra. Comes down. Oh, you got a veto? No. Oh, yeah, you can't be countered. So there's that. I'm going to kill their Narset. I think that's the right way to go about things. And then next turn, you'll start getting emblems. I promise. Unless they kill our Chandra. They have the resources. They have a bunch of stuff, actually. They have so many cards in their hand. Yep. Kill the Chandra with an Oath of Kaya. That kind of hurts. That's the nastiest way for it to die. Well, maybe we'll get an Elspeth Conquers Death. Maybe we will. Nope. That's right. They refuse to cast the Thought Erasure. They just refuse. I'll decline for now. Because I want a God Pharaoh statue this turn. You're going to veto that, maybe? Or, okay, absorb. That's fine. Again, so long as I can't play Magic. Doesn't matter. Okay, so we should have enough cards in our yard now. Yeah, more than enough to bring back Elspeth. Cause some problems. 5 cards in your hand. You got to be able to do something. They're going to Thought Erases. Maybe just to get the Surveil, really. Shatter the Sky goes. Afraid of it because they're playing Dream Trawler, very likely. Alright, they surveil the land to their yard. What else you got this turn? 4 mana's a lot. 4 mana's a lot. You're going to hold it up for Chemister's Insight? Yep, plays the land. Okay, we got Elspeth and Gideon this turn. One or the other. I wish that we could Gideon... Well, I guess we can still make a Dawn of Hope token. Yeah, let's do it. That's value. Got another counter? You got it? You got it, buddy? No, they don't. Alright. Well, let's be real cool and give this wall, this 0 power creature with Defender, lifelink. That's what we want to do. If you're gonna do it, just do it. Alright. Say next. End the turn eventually. Whenever opponent's ready to end my turn, we'll do that. Just looking at it. Just looking at giving it a little once-over. Checking it out. You're going to rope. Looking at this Gideon. Yep, end the turn. If you're the doc, don't you have better things to be doing at this particular moment in time? Doctors should not be playing Magic. Right now. Alright, lots of mana, lots of cards. What you got, big guy? Come at me. Hardcore. Here comes a Temple of Enlightenment. Get a little scry action. You can do it, bub. You can do it, bub. Still at 27. That's a very high life total. So we got some game left to play here. Get to it. Rise to the bottom. That's neat. And it's Dream Trawler. Just end our game. Like, Dream Trawler just ends it. Alright, apparently it's going to be our turn, so let's make a Dawn of Hope token. And then draw a card. Cool. It's a Bone Crusher Giant. That's a pretty decent Magic card, I hear tell. Well, let's give this guy Vigilance. Because why not? Are you just playing the game where you don't let us do anything? There we go. Okay. Da-da-dum. Da-da-dum. Get in for 5, hopefully. Still be above your starting life total. It's not like it's a big hit. It's fine. You can take this. Take this wallop. Yeah. It's cool. We're just samesies now. Well, I'm at 23, so whatevs. I will draw the card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'll draw the card. It's Temple of Triumph. Kind of hoping it was an untapped land, but that's fine too. We'll scry eventually. Castle Ardenvale. No more lands. Thank you very much. Kind of over those at the moment. Stomp your head. Gonna counter that so we don't get the 4/3. Nope. Let's do it. That is an efficient use of mana, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, maybe they'll just Kaya's Wrath this turn. Maybe. I'll see. They still have so many cards in their hand to like not be doing anything. Alright, return the Gideon to our hand. I'm not too worried about that. And then... Okay. Opponent's turn. This is going to be the longest game. Easy. Oath of Kaya for the Bone Crusher. Nice. Good plays. Good plays. Still got a bunch of mana. Man, I complain about drawing lands, but they've been doing it too. Hey, we got a Realm Cloak Giant. He's a big boy. Man, no matter what, we'll just never have enough lands to Elspeth on the same turn. We would have been able to if I'd have kept the land on top. That's on the... Well, if we do Elspeth, we'll have 2 left for a Scorching Dragonfire, maybe. But I doubt we'll need it. Maybe we need it against an Ashiok or something. I don't know. I'd rather have the Gids. Yeah, I'd rather have the Gids and the ability to make a token. Or draw a card and still have Scorching Dragonfire up. That's fine, too. Fussing at my opponent about taking time, and then I rope. I'm such a jerk. Alright, in with our dude here. See what happens. You gonna do something? You gonna do something cool? You gonna dazzle us? Nope. Alright, we in. We in there, kids. Why don't I also have enough mana to make a Dawn of Hope token? Yeah, I want to draw a card now. Well, Bertha Melodus. Nice. All good-ish. Hopefully we can draw an extra card off this Berth in a couple of turns. I'm always like mad about getting mana, but this deck really needs mana. So we still have Scorching Dragonfire up. That worked. That worked out. Let's see what they do. They got to be able to do something. They have so many lands, so many cards. 3 cards is still a lot right now. Got to be something big. Here comes another land. I feel bad for them in a way. But hey, we're keeping up with them almost. The land production. Yep, Sacred Foundry. Talja. Let's play that Foundry. Untapped. I don't care. I really, at this point, it doesn't matter. There's 10 mana. Not enough to Realm Cloak Giant and also make a token, but enough to Realm Cloak Giant and draw a card, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and Gids. This token. Give it Vig. Eventually. Here we go. We pulled it off. Come on. Come on. Let us attack. How come we haven't seen a Teferi yet? Halfway through their deck, they haven't drawn a Teferi. Unless they're just not playing it, but that's not advisable. What you gonna do? Gonna let us run wild on you. Put you at below your starting life total. That's good. It's quite good. Pay the 2, draw a Sarkin. That's a pretty good card. Yeah, I'll do it. Got a counter for it. Gonna put it on the counter. You gonna do it? Opponent is probably like, what is this deck? Gideon and Sarkin. Neat. They're gonna conquer death. Probably the Sarkin. Yeah. But again, I don't think we have that much to worry about. I really don't. Yeah, it's our turn. Got a Deafening Clarion in case we want some lifelink. Let's draw that card off of Birth of Melodies. One of the coolest little interactions in the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, so cool. Let's conquer death. Or not conquer death, just regular old Elspeth. I'm just so used to conquer death comes after Elspeth. Fabled Passage leaves, Fabled Passage leaves. I actually want to be a little bit careful here just in case we get an Elspeth conquers death. Birth of Melodies, Shatter the Sky, gone. Come on, man. Are you really doing this in unranked? Oh, the doc. Oh, the doc. You little scamp. You child. Only children do this. Alright. She's on the table. We are going to boost a couple of things. Gideon. That guy, and, well, actually, let's boost the dragon. Let's do that. You got something? You got something? You gotta have something. 5 mana open, 2 cards in your hand. You gotta have something. Yeah, Tyrant Scorn, the Gideon, to return it to our hand. Thanks, we have enough mana to replay it, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's really, really, really nice of you, actually. Ah, Dovin's Veto. Ah, I should have sniffed it out. Man, a 26-year-old trick. Return that thing to your hand and then counter it. But somehow I didn't see it happening. Alright, so what are you going to conquer's death next turn? What shall conquer death? Nothing. You don't have anything in your yard? Oh, Teferi. Okay, I asked for it. I asked for it. Bounce the dragon. Draw a card. 6 mana left. Nothing. Okay, Fabled Passage. Let's have that come down. Plains. I'm just gonna kill this Teferi, I guess. They can just get it right back. If I don't kill the Teferi, they can't get anything back. So I should actually come at them. Which means maybe I should have -1 the Elspeth. Maybe. I'm gonna get in at them, though. Draw the card. It's a Karn. Pretty good. Let's play it. Then maybe we'll go get a Sorcerer's Spyglass and play that. Yeah. Yep, that's what I'll do. Cost all of our mana, but I'll do it. And I'm well aware, too, that I could have, like, not Hero of Dominaria, certainly not. That I could have just Scorching Dragonfired with that mana, but I'd rather do this and save the Scorching Dragonfire, which I've been doing all game. But let's see what they do here. Because they can't, like, do much of anything, actually. Let's see. If this is a Dream Trawler, we'll be in trouble. But we can just Realm Cloak Giant that away. So I think we've got it pretty well in hand, if I had to guess. But, I mean, famous last words. I've said a million times. Famous last words. So let's not assume we've got it sewed up just yet. Let's Karn. Go get a Stone Coil Serpent. Sorry. For some reason, I thought that something was summoning sick. But let's target those two guys, and let's try to get in and see what happens. Oh, next. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I thought maybe they'd have an instant speed spell, but no. Cool beans. Well, we won that one after a slog. Boy, it took a while to actually win that one. but we pulled it off. And actually, I like that last one. Because that is a deck. The Esper Control deck, no matter what stripe of it you're playing, is a deck that has a lot of card advantage, a lot of ways to get through its deck, a lot of removal, you know. So we can kind of prove in that game that we can go pound for pound. We can go toe-to-toe with those decks and still get a fair amount of card advantage. You know, Dawn of Hope helped out a lot in terms of getting card advantage in that game, but Elspeth Conquers Death has been an all-star in like 2 games in this video. So did I say Elspeth Conquers Death again? It has been. Elspeth Conquers Death has been good, but I mean Elspeth Sun's Nemesis. The actual Elspeth Planeswalker card has been really good in these videos to help, you know, create card advantage, finish the game, have something on turns where we don't draw a good card. Notice, there are going to be turns where we draw a fair amount of lands. That's happened multiple times in this video already. So when you have things like Dawn of Hope, Castle Ardenvale, adventure creatures that maybe you haven't played yet, like Bone Crusher and Realmcloak Giant that are still in exile, Karn, you know, these are just ways to get card advantage on turns where you otherwise draw dead, and they just really aid the deck in an interesting way. So honestly, we did have some trouble against Mono Red this video, but who doesn't, right? So aside from that, we won some really good games, and we won some games pretty handily too, where we were in the driver's seat like most of the time. So I'm telling you, I've been telling my patrons this whole season, there is something to this deck. And yeah, there's multiple ways you could build it too. I don't think this is the final word or anything. There are an awful lot of one-ofs in the deck, but we saw them all. We saw every single one of these one-ofs in these games. So, you know, take that as you will. But if you are interested in the deck and you want to build and improve upon it, the deck list is, as always, in the description. Just click on that, go over to TCG Player, pick up anything you need. When you pick up cards through that deck list, it helps me out like tremendously. So if you're interested in playing this deck, pick it up through that deck list. It would matter a lot to me. Aside from that, just like the video if you enjoyed the gameplay in the deck and all that, the banter. Like the video, that helps me out a lot too. Subscribe if you haven't done it yet. And check out the Patreon if you want to vote on what content you get to see on the channel. I know a lot of people voted for this deck over the season. It never got voted through, but a lot of people wanted to see it. So still ended up, you know, so just because a deck doesn't get voted through and you really want to see it, doesn't mean you're not going to get to see it. It's like the end of seasons, I like to kind of tie up the loose ends and play some of these decks that didn't quite make it during the season. And again, Boros Control was the closest, like every time. I even think there was a point where Boros Control may have tied something else, and I had to cast the tie-breaking vote, and I cast it for something else. I think that may have happened, but I might be misremembering. At the very least, I know Boros Control has lost by like 1 or 2 votes in the past, so it's been close. And you finally get to see the deck, and it turns out deck is freaking awesome. It actually does some real things and can go long. This deck can go long. So hope we illustrated all that in this video, and I hope you enjoyed it too. In any case, just go to the comment section. Let me know how you felt about it, how you changed things up, and I will catch you cats later. I'm Dev from The Place. Thanks for watching, my wizards. Spread love and be kind.